Hey everyone, Simbiote here, and welcome to my review of the Surf's Up Sun and Fun collection, which is the new Sims 3 store collection. It was released today, which is a day, I can't remember what day it is. 1 second, let me look. So professional of me. It's Friday, well, okay, so it was released Thursday, August 1st, at the price of 1,200 SimPoints. You're hearing me set down my phone. At the price of 1,200 SimPoints, which is the sale price, it will raise to a retail price of 1,400 SimPoints. That's $14 US, otherwise known as $5 less than a stuff pack. The sale is going on until the 8th, and we're gonna do casts first. But I'm gonna tell you right now, you may have noticed that I did not add an intro for this video. And the reason for that is that, one, I have to record something after this, and it's a very lengthy process, and, you know, I don't want to be neglectful, but in this instance, I'm just going to have to go about it that way, so I beg your you know, forgiveness on that. But the biggest reason is that I just don't feel like it. And that's not because I don't want to put in the effort. I don't feel like it because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm pretty frustrated with this collection, and we're going to discuss why. But we will get to that. And I think it'll become evident that it's not that I dislike the individual items. There's something else going on. So, firstly, our beautiful model Danica is here. She's always willing to help, always ready to, you know, just put on these clothes and show them off for you all. So yeah, this is the first outfit that the collection includes. And actually, let me tell you really quickly what it does include. It has 19 items total. 1 premium content item, 2 children's hairstyles, 2 toddler outfits, 1 child's outfit, 2 children's separates, yes, there we go. I thought I already said hairstyles. And then we have 1 female hairstyle, 2 female outfits, 2 female separates, 2 male outfits, 1 male separate, 1 male hairstyle, and 1 recolor each for male and female elders. And I will tell you which outfits those are. Now, that's a lot of clothes. It really is. And a lot of sets recently have included, trying to think of the last one. That was the Bistro, and then before that it was the Hipster Set, and that contained a mixture of objects and clothes. This one does not include any objects other than the premium content item, which is actually kind of 2 items, but you need to use them together. We'll discuss that when we get to it. So, as I said, let's get into the cast part. So this is the first female outfit, and she's actually sporting the hairstyle as well. The hairstyle is a sort of, it's basically a side braid. It's got a little bit of sort of like a French braiding aspect in the back. I feel like it's, you know, actually you could have a lot of uses for this, but it's got that sort of messy, sexy saltwater look. Which is, if you've ever done a lot of like swimming in salt water, it affects the texture of your hair, and I actually think they did a good job of putting that forward with this hairstyle. And I also like the hairstyles now are starting to have some more wispy elements, look a little more realistic, like custom content hair, but it does lay very nicely on the shoulder and all of that. I do genuinely like this hairstyle, and I can see myself using it. The outfit itself is a suit, which I feel like is a good marriage of a racing suit and a standard suit. Obviously, for racing purposes, you wouldn't want a wrap front top like this, but, you know, it's for surfing. And I think that it fits very, very nicely. It's got a high cut brief and all of that, but, and that would look good on pretty much every sim. So I do like that. I also love the cross back. I mean, I like this suit a lot. I think it looks great on her. If her breasts were larger, I'm gonna guess that it would look great as well. I think it's textured well, has the shearing in the front, it's just flattering in general. Okay, we're moving on to the second outfit. There we go. Oh, I forgot to take off her sunglasses. Sorry. So this is the second outfit, and it is obviously a wetsuit. It really, to me, doesn't stand out a ton from the wetsuits that you got in Seasons. I do like that the zipper adds like a nice touch of realism. I feel like it's well fitted. Yeah, I mean, there's really not much to say. It's another wetsuit, essentially. Let's look really quickly. How many color channels does it have? Okay, it has 3 color channels. That one, the main body color channel, the accent color channel, and then the I don't know what I would call that. It's kind of basically like a, I can't think. No, it's just, yeah, it's another accent. And does that actually does the piping as well down the body. So you could probably create some interesting looks with this suit. We're gonna go on to the third outfit. I love how, like, I have almost all of the store content, but it still kind of tells me, like, oh, do you want to buy that? I think it's a weird thing with my game. Okay. So this is there's another top, actually, that we have that I have to show you. I'm so sorry. I'm starting to lose my voice, and hopefully I'm not getting sick. Okay, so this sarong bottom is actually another store content item. It's not actually from this set, but this is the first bikini top, and it has these sort of puka shell beads, and I this is how I wear necklaces in real life, so I like that. A lot of times people don't like the tops with necklaces, but I feel like this one is done pretty well. The necklaces themselves are small enough that they don't end up looking fake. The top is a pretty cute shape. It reminds me of sort of like a Roxy brand top, and it has this feather detail, and it ties in the back, halter neck, you know, just excuse me, just kind of, you know, basic, but I think it's pretty okay. And then let's look at the other top, which is down here. It's this one. And I'm going to tell you right now, it reminds me a lot of this one, which I already have. But it's got this little sort of crooked knot here, and the ruffle element on top, and a cute little fruity pattern. Now here's my big complaint with this particular item and the top before this. There's no bikini bottom included. And when you look at the promo pictures for the set, it has a bikini bottom with a, like from the first top, it has a bikini bottom with a matching pattern. So basically just create a style and transfer the pattern to the bikini bottom, which is fine. But for the cost of this set, I feel like there could have been another bottom included. Honestly, the one that like I liked the most with it is the sarong. Really quickly, let's look at some of the other traditional bottoms. I mean, this is the one from Island Paradise. It's okay. It doesn't look amazing with it. Diesel stuff, and this is even assuming that you have these expansions. Let's look at base game ones. Excuse me, I have terrible hiccups. Okay. So base game ones, I mean, you have this, and this is actually the bottom, which is included in the photo. I can tell just because it has those side knots, and it's very low cut. And, yeah, you just basically transfer the pattern using Create a Style, but I don't want to do that. And I know that sounds lazy, but it's not meant to be lazy. It's that I paid $12 for this set. Oh, come on. And at bare minimum, there could have been a bikini bottom which looked good with both tops included, which had the recolor for both patterns. It's really not that difficult to do the Create a Style thing. Let's open it up. I'll show you. Let's go to the top and let's drag that onto there. Come on, you can do it. Hello. Oh, Create a Style takes forever sometimes. Is it not working? Okay, there we go. And as you can see, there it is. The pattern itself translates pretty well to this particular bottom. I feel like it's perfectly fine, but it's frustrating to me that you would have to do that. And I know that's probably a pretty nitpicky thing, but whatever. because I'm already kind of frustrated in general. So, okay, she's all set. I will be back in a moment and we'll take a look at the other clothing items. And we are back with the male outfits. I'm going to come right out and say it. I like how diverse this set is. I told you everything that's in it. It's got children's clothing, it's got toddlers clothing, it's got hairstyles for children. It, for once, doesn't have this completely disparate and disproportionate number of clothes for women, as opposed to the other gender and the other ages. I do like that a lot. Yeah. Okay. So this is basically the same wetsuit. It's slightly different, obviously. It's got the piping and shape are a little bit different. I'm assuming it has the same color channels. It's got the zipper aspect in the back. I do like the shaping here. It definitely looks more realistic that it would have a seam there. Wow, it really hugs the butt. That's, yeah. And then here's the hairstyle. It's just basically, spiked up hair, again, with that sort of saltwater aspect, wispy edges. I think that actually looks pretty good. There are 2 available recolors of this hat. So the other one has, a Simlish character on it, like, yeah, just basically what would be a letter in Simlish. And this one is obviously like a wicker, and you can always retexture these things. I think the hat looks well made. I like that it definitely has dimension, it has shading. It even has that little bit of shading that makes it look like there's Velcro there. So that, it really does look realistic. It's not just completely flat. I'm not in love with this here where it's cut very short. It looks a little douchey to me. I know that sounds so judgmental, but that's my completely subjective opinion on the matter. Okay, yeah, so that's basically it for that outfit. I like the base color that it comes in as well, and obviously you can recolor it. This is the second outfit. This is one that's actually available for female, or for elders. Oh, the female elder outfit, the one that's a recolor for elders from the women stuff, is that one-piece suit with the sheared top. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that. So this is the one that's been recolored for elders. And, yeah, basically it has the color blocking again with the piping. It's got a nice zipper detail in the back. I feel like it fits well. I feel like it's these are very tight in the crotch, which makes sense. That's, how it is with these two. I'm not offended by it or anything. It's just, it doesn't leave much to the imagination. You've got this little icon here, which is, to me, very realistic, because a lot of times wetsuits and surf suits, boarding suits, they include that type of branding on them, so I think that's cool. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this particular piece. The wetsuits I don't usually do very much. Now, these are jammer shorts, and they're available also in, as for like every day. Now the weird thing here is that I was looking for them all over in the bottoms. Technically it's not under the separates, it's under the outfits. So that's something to be aware of. It also comes in multiple different color options as a preset, which I do like. So I'm pretty happy about that, but my favorite is just the plain one, and it has a little bit of an ombre dye job, so it's like ombre is kind of like no, it's actually more like dip dyed because it's the same color. Ombre is when you have different colors that fade into each other, so it's like a gradient. This is definitely like a dip dyed thing where it's darker at the bottom. But I like it. I feel like it fits well. I feel like the seam on the back gives it a very nice sort of realistic looking touch. I like the fit at the waist. Again, I'm actually generally pretty pleased with this. So we're going to go on to the next outfit. Alright, so here we have the first children's outfit, and this is the first thing I take issue with, so we'll get to that in a second. This is the hairstyle for female children. Again, it has that sort of wet saltwater look. It actually does. It looks like the hair is wet. It has the shine and all of that. It's basically a specular layer. And the way it's programmed, I like that it's a little messy around the ears. I feel like it adds a touch of realism, especially where the hair sort of puffs up over there. It may look kind of messy to people, but I kind of like that it's generally realistic. And then you have the goggles up here, she wears on her head. I wish that I wonder if something in The Sims 4 would be where if they have goggles or something, they could use them differently. Like she could actually put them on when she goes in the water. I don't know how that would be in programming, but it'd be kind of cool if that were something you could do. Now, here's one of the first big things I take issue with, and this is going to sort of run into the later discussion, so I'm going to try not to say too much, which, is impossible for me. But you have a female child bikini, and it's got a little bow, it's got a little ruffle, it's got polka dots. I do like the seam here. I'm not a big fan of automatically putting pink on little girls, but I actually feel like, it's like a dusty rose. It's okay. I feel like the bottom is modest, so that's okay. That's okay with me. People have been asking for children's bikinis, female children's bikinis, obviously, for a very long time. I was reading about it, and I've noticed in threads way back, just like, discussion threads, where people were talking about how they couldn't have female children's bikinis, and I know that there are some custom content ones, but it never looks very good because the original mesh doesn't have the, it's not built for that. My big issue is that this is something that people have wanted for so long, and this set is obviously along the same theme as Island Paradise. Why wasn't it included? To me, it smacks of holding an item hostage, something that people really, really want. And I know that this is something that happens in the store collections and sets, and I know why it's done. And we're going to talk about that again later, and I'm sure you know too. But that's upsetting to me, because it's something that people have been asking for so long, so frequently. And here we have a situation where it's basically thrown into a set which is already along a theme that we recently received in an expansion. And yeah, I'm not going to say any more on it for the moment. That being said, I sound so cranky right now. I'm sorry. I'm just frustrated. That being said, I do like the suit. I know some people wouldn't. The little ruffle on the bottom is a little weird for me, but I'm happy that now there's a mesh, so even if you don't like this suit, there will be attractive suits available in custom content, because people will be able to use this particular mesh, which is EA created and meant to coincide with the game, and I think it'll look okay. I think it will actually be good, because people can make custom content from this, and I do like the suit as it is right now. So let's go on to the next item. Alright, so we are here in the present with the boy's options, and all three of these things he is wearing come with the set, and I love that. I'm honestly not trying to denigrate this set as a whole, so bear with me, but I'm going to talk about what I love here. Usually when these collections come out, you don't get much for boys. Recently, the Hipster Set included some stuff for teens, which is something you don't always see in these releases as well. And I feel like on that aspect, they're really listening. Because now we're seeing more and more include. We have a male hairstyle in this set. We have some more male clothes. And we have refittings and recolors for elders. And you'll see we have some toddler clothes. So this is all making me happy. Alright, so first we have this little life jacket, but I actually feel like it doesn't look too much like a life jacket, so it fits the theme, and it also can be sort of worn just like, if they're wearing their swimwear walking around town, it doesn't look weird. I do like that. I like how it's simple, the life jacket. available with Island Paradise is a little more fussy. I just like that, it has the stripes, but I feel like it's pretty simple, and obviously you could recolor, and it has 3 color channels, meaning you can recolor the buckles, and honestly, you could just make the whole thing blue if you really wanted to. I mean, knock yourself out. Yes, I want to change that. Thank you. Okay, so the bottom available here. It's a little pocket suit. I like the detail that there are pockets, because when you send your kids to the pool or something, sometimes you give them money in case they want a snack. Boy, those ice cream trucks always park nearby, so you can get some delicious ice cream after you swim. And yeah, I used to swim every day when I was young. I just love it. And yeah, it has these little pockets so they can keep their necessaries, like a house key and maybe a laminated card. I read too much into this crap, like a laminated card with their with phone numbers or something. It's like, I think about this crap, but I mean, I think in this way they were, the people who created this content were thinking about it too. The texture on the pants looks very good to me. Hang on, let's see. I feel like it's well textured. I think the shading gives the illusion that it's actually 3D, and these back pockets aren't, so it doesn't end up looking weird depending on the size of your child. And then you have these recolor channels, I'm gonna assume, and then it comes in different patterns as well. So right out of the gate, it gives you some different options, and if you want to do a matching thing, you have this sort of monochromatic thing. I mean, obviously it's a slightly different blue. It's got the little tie at the waist, it's got the slash pockets, and I feel like it's a decent length. And also, if you don't want that little pattern on the leg, like I said, it's not there. It's a different pattern, recolored. And they also have a version which is intended for girls, but like I said, I don't automatically do the pink for girls thing. I feel like that's a social construct, but that's a that's a completely different conversation right there. God, I sound cranky. I am so sorry. Alright, so, let's go back to the top so we can get closer. This is the Hairstyle, and I really like this. I feel, once again, like it's textured well. It has that saltwater feel. The EA highlights, sometimes I feel like the EA highlights can be a little bit too strongly contrasting to the rest of the hairstyle, so you can't always get a good blend, which is something you see more with custom content. But I feel like the blending done on this hairstyle and on the others is actually quite good. You don't see these like really big differences in the highlights themselves, and I feel once again like that you have some wispy aspects back here. You do see that in some of the other store items, but not always to proper effect. It doesn't always look great. And some of the female hairstyles that I have from the store, I personally feel like they're very blocky. They look like helmets. And I know that sounds so mean. I'm not a programmer. I can't really speak to all of this. I feel like, it's just taken a while for the store to find its footing, I would say. And they really have hit their stride, and I really have been pretty happy with the sets recently. Since I started doing this, at least. My first one was the Lullabies and Nursery Rhymes set, and I most definitely liked that set. So, okay, we're going to go on to the last couple of items. Alright, so we have the first of the Toddler Outfits, which is this little wetsuit. I like how the way the initial color blocking is done. I like that the zipper is textured well. Once again, the shadow work on these is very, very good. And I also love, I forgot to say this before, I also love that these clothes don't have an insane specular layer on top. A lot of the clothes in the sets have had really, really glossy surfaces because of the specular layer, and sometimes definitely where it wasn't appropriate. Like, you had items which were obviously meant to be wool or jersey that were very shiny, and I felt like it looked a little weird, honestly. This little toddler is actually my JonTron sim aged down, and as a toddler his eyes are just insanely huge. But the adult actually looks quite a bit like him, if I do say so myself. So I feel like this fits well. I think it's cute. I believe it's for both sexes. So I do like it in a little wetsuit. It's in his everyday. They don't have actual swimwear. But I'm thinking that, I really hope that if you do that whole play with your toddler in the water thing, I hope that this, like, if you were to set this, that this would show up. But I haven't done that yet, and I can't believe I haven't, because I've been talking about how I want something like that for ages. But, yeah, I would hope that this would show up. But if it doesn't, I understand. Oh, that's a weird thing with the hair. What's going on there? What's going on? That's weird. Okay, I don't like that. But this isn't a hairstyle that comes with it. So we're gonna go on to the last item. Alright, so here is our last item. And, well, last clothing item. And it is a little outfit. And it has what looks sort of like a diaper bottom. And then a ruffle top. I like the ruffles. I feel like they lie well. They don't stick out too much on the sides. It looks pretty appropriate. Like, the top has some structure. I like the little halter aspect. It's like I said, it's layered well. I do like it. I like the initial coloring. What are the channels? Oh, see, you can recolor all of the colors on it. I like that too. I feel like it's really cute. It's not what we were just talking about. It's not automatically in like pink or anything. And it's very, very cute. You find that in the store sets there are a disproportionate number of little girls' clothes as opposed to little boys. So in this set, I do love that they have made some boys' item available. And this little wetsuit is also available for girls in the initial color. Okay, so we're gonna actually go on to the premium content. Okay, so we're actually here now to talk about the premium content items. Let's really quickly, I will read you the flavor text for the entire set, and then I will read you the flavor text for the actual premium content items, both parts of which you're looking at right now. And I've gone ahead and thrown down some by Debug Lights so you can see it really clearly because it's already 9:30 p.m. in my game. So, okay, so the flavor text for the whole set is Surf's Up. With the Surf's Up fun and sun, I'm turning a page here, sorry. So let's start again. Surf's Up. With the Surf's Up fun and the sun and fun wave station, you'll be catching waves in no time. Want to look the part as well? New swimming suits, wetsuits, and hairstyles will help you perform tricks in style. Now get out there and catch some killer waves. That's the flavor text for the set itself. Sorry, I have to write this stuff down, and then of course you hear the crinkling of the papers. Okay, the premium content flavor text, which is for this and this, is, dude, it's totally time to catch some epic waves and carve them up. Hang 10 on some custom boards to make this even more off the chain. Just don't be a baller if the seal destroys your surfboard. That's an aspect of, like, if you put this premium content item, if you put this station in a pond or the ocean, is it the pond? If you put it in the ocean, or if you put it, I think in like a lake or something, or in a pond, basically a seal can show up and it will attack you and attack your board, and then if it succeeds in destroying your board, which will happen, then you'll get a negative moodlet, and if you survive and it doesn't break your board, then you get a positive moodlet. And then there are moodlets involving successfully performing tricks, all of that. So that's something to keep in mind. There's an interaction where you can view board. This is actually the only thing it really does is your sim, gets happy and, oh, no, I told you to do that. Pretty pleased. Yeah, your sim's excited and it's like, yay, but these things can be recolored. Danica, where are you going, Missy Miss? Come back here. So yeah, he just comes over here and pumps his fist, and he's like, yay, isn't that awesome? So she's coming out here. We're gonna actually go ahead and use the wave station. I've leveled her up in her skill, which will enable me to show you. Oh, carefree. Carefree Gus Gus. It'll enable me to show you what it looks like. Now she's athletic. Her swimming skill and her diving skill aren't up that high, but I did skill her up in this particular item, the surfing skill. So yeah, basically they go underwater and they reappear. And you have this wave texture, which actually if your game runs slowly or if you don't have a powerful computer, I'm gonna guess that it would probably lag it out a little bit. But you can always turn down textures and things like that. So yeah, she's basically surfing back and forth. It's looking pretty cool. And they have fun with this. I don't think it raises athletic, but she is she's maximum athletic, so I'll have to bring the other guy out here. I'll have to bring John out here. So yeah, she just performed a trick on her own. We're going to show you the hang 10 trick. Okay, so yep, she goes to the front of her board. She stands there looking like a boss. And then she steps back. I do like that the animation is really realistic. And then she's going to perform the cutback trick. Now, even at the high skill and with being so athletic, she can still fall off. I don't think they can drown while doing this, but I gave her loves to swim anyway just to be safe. And then she's going to do the handstand, which I think is what she did before, yes. So those are the 3 tricks available. And let's bring him out. Can 2 people surf at once? No, let me click him. I kind of wonder. Nah, you don't want to carry that baby. Come on out here. I turned off autonomy, so... And their needs are max, so I'm not exactly sure what the thing is here. Now I'm curious, yes, can he do this? What are you doing? Are you going to get him using the ladder? Okay. So yeah, we're going to see if he's actually able... Oh, she just fell off. And pop back up. Looks pretty harsh. You swim over there? Come on. Yeah, he's not athletic and his swimming skill is pretty low. Now, the question, like I said, being, can he do it while she's on there? Is his athletic maxed? Oh, come on. Balls. Okay, let's try something. We're going to use a mod really quickly. If you're curious how you can set a sim skill level, you're going to use the Master Controller mod, and you're going to go into Advanced, and you're going to go to Skill Level, and then we have Athletic right here. Hit the check mark, and we're just going to give him an athletic skill of like 5. Boom. Done. Yep, there you go. So we're going to tell Danica to get on off there, and then swim over here. And then we're going to tell him to go ahead. Well, he's already queued up to go on there. And of course is that, oh wow, look at that. She dove off. Okay, now he should be heading over there now. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna see what happens. I actually like these wave machines. I remember at the Darien Lake Water Park, there we go. So I think that surfing is a hidden skill, so I'm gonna take a guess that this is in fact his athletic skill going up. Let's see. If you mouse over it, it kind of shows you if it's going up, and it looks like... I'm gonna need a second. Yes, it's going up. Okay, so here's something I like. The Skylight Center for the Performing Arts. Wow, it looks like he cracked his head. That wasn't great. Yes, the Skylight Center for the Performing Arts. Oh, I want to see really quickly how he does, because he's actually not great at this. That's included new items, which increase your dancing skill and increase your athletic skill at the same time. I really liked that. This comes with a skill, like, dancing skill wasn't really a thing. I mean, there was a passive dancing skill that could go up to level 3, but now there's a dancing skill, which can go up pretty high. If you have that set, by the way. And then you have this, which raises your athletic, while simultaneously giving you a new skill, which outside of this particular item isn't really useful, but at the same time, Sims, I'm gonna, hang on a second, let's drag this. No, I made need static. I want to see if this raises their fun. Okay. So we're going to make needs dynamic. We're going to go through there. And let's see. I can drag this down. Okay, so his fun is going up. And all of the rest of it is going down. But not that quickly. And he seems to be enjoying this. They do their tricks naturally, just on their own. And yeah, it's actually pretty interesting. I'm kind of curious. But yeah, I mean, outside of this item, this skill doesn't really do anything. However, it does seem to be raising their fun really quickly, and it is a way to raise their athletic, and it looks like that actually goes up pretty quickly as well. So that's something in its favor. But really quickly, I want to see, you can see all the Debug Lights that I threw down. I want to see if you can recolor it. Yes, and it actually comes in different color presets. This one's actually pretty nice looking. I like the navy blue. It also comes in gray, and the recolor channels you can recolor. It looks like you can recolor the little buoy things. You can recolor this, and you can recolor that that sort of edging. So, and you can't it looks like you can't recolor like the rope type things down there. But that's okay. So let me put it on that one because I really like that one. And I think when you recolor the buoy things, it also recolors the lifesaver as well. So that's kind of neat. And like I said, the boards are fully customizable. You can make them look almost any way you want. Obviously, there's a plain pattern here, stripes. This has the hibiscus flowers. This has the llama on it. Boop. And it looks like a plumb bob sort of thing. And the llama, it's almost like the llama is sort of peeking through the plumb bob, like ripping its essence apart or something. I know, I'm just being dark there. And then this one, which has the striping down the middle. And this sort of gradient effect. Yeah, it's pretty neat. And I'm not sure how you get the Sims to use these. Can I put it in his inventory? Yes, I can. So basically you put it in their inventory. And then however you've customized it in buy mode is what you're going to get. Okay. So we have talked about the premium items, and we've talked about the clothing, and I'm flipping to my papers again. I should probably, like, when I flip to the papers, just stop talking and edit that out, but you guys are understanding and awesome, so. Alright, here are my issues that this set really seems to be throwing into sharp relief. These things are complaints that a number of people have had, and I'm generally pretty forgiving of the store sets. I know that about myself, but that's because I understand that this is how business is done. I don't think the pricing is fair. I don't think the pricing is always a value, although there are some items on the store which are. And now that they have this thing where you can purchase in sets which were previously all sort of one part and all of that, you can complete sets. And it allows you to do that, which is kind of cool. And everything other than the premium content items in this particular collection is available separately. So if you want that little boy's hairstyle, if you want the bikini, all of those things are available separately. But you still pay a fee for these things, which particularly like the bikini, I said, have been held hostage. So that you do have to pay. That's microcharging. That, in fact, is the way that business is done these days, but it doesn't mean that as consumers we have to like it. And I'm kind of frustrated because I do like this collection. But here are my gripes. Firstly, the Sims 3 store collections and individual items and things like that, they used to be on sale for longer. I remember it wasn't even that long ago when things were on sale for like 2 weeks, and then it went down to like a week and a half, and here it was that this was released yesterday on the 1st, and the sale ends on the 8th, so it's down to a week. How long before these sales are? Like 3 days. It's like some sort of blue light special. Unacceptable. Not cool. it really, I mean, presumably, I mean, people might have to wait like 2 weeks for a paycheck and they really want this item, and then they end up having to pay $2 more because they couldn't get it because these sales don't go on long enough. And again, I get it. It's business, but we don't have to like it as consumers. This is the mantra. And I know, like I said, I'm so forgiving of the other sets, but okay. So then, like I said before, I'm not happy there's no bikini bottom with the two female bikini tops. I am not jazzed that this set, or I am jazzed, excuse me, that this set includes a new skill, even if it is completely relegated to this particular item. Sorry, 1 second, hiccups. Okay, sorry. Yes, it is entirely relegated to this particular item, but that's the item comes with the skill. You won't have the skill without the item. I mean, it's sort of part and parcel, and you can't really say much about that. And eventually this item will be available separately, but it takes months. It takes like 6-7 months before these premium content items are available outside of their original set or world or venue. Okay. So then, another thing I really like is that there's a diverse selection of items. This set in particular highlights the skill of the designers and that they can make things for all age brackets. And this particular collection includes things for toddlers, things for children, nothing for teens, but the last set had something for teens. And then like you have for young adult and adult women, and then female elders, and there aren't a lot of clothes for elders, but they were included in this set, and a number of sets recently they have been included as well. And then you have something for male elders. All of this is definitely a plus. All of this is definitely something to keep in mind. There you go. Before I started looking at these items and started this review, I wrote down that the price might be too high because I hadn't looked at it yet. I hadn't looked at the quality of the items. And just by nature of it being $12 to start with, and then in a week, not even a week, in 6 days now, because it's the second, just by the very nature that it's going to go up to $14, which is, again, $5 less than a stuff pack, which usually includes a lot more, although they include less and less these days. But that is another can of worms. But the problem here being that, yes, I actually think that it is too high. This set, or this wave station is cool, but, and like it raises fun, it's really neat, it's large, it takes up a lot of space in your pool, but you can always like take it out, put it in family inventory and all that. It is cool. The boards are cool. I like that you can customize them. I like that there are moodlets involved in doing these things. Let me see actually if she got any moodlets. No, she didn't, so I don't even know what you have to do to get these moodlets. Maybe you have to be in like a pond or the ocean or something, so sorry about that, but I'm not sure. And yeah, it's just, I think we can all agree that the pricing on these items is just too high. I would happily pay like $7 for this, maybe $7.50. People don't have a lot of money these days. Everywhere, the world is in a recession, and it's like, finances are kind of in the toilet, and people want these things and enjoy these things, and a lot of people use The Sims 3 to escape, and then they have these items just sort of held hostage, and it's not right, it's not fair. Well, I mean, what's fair? Let's not get philosophical on this, but you know what I mean. So, like I said, the next thing I have written down is that Island Paradise was really light on content. You may not feel that way. That's my subjective opinion. I feel like Island Paradise didn't include very much. When you look at it, it included a world which, while a completely new feat of programming for The Sims 3, and I think that it was very ambitious. Once again, it was an instance where EA was releasing an expansion pack that was rushed and using customers to playtest a game when that is not acceptable. It's an incomplete game, and as you've seen from my LP, I am not happy with how glitchy it is. And I don't put that on the programmers because I feel like they just weren't given enough time. I feel like a lot of these bugs could have been avoided and rectified. And like I said, I'm not a programmer, but it seems like there just should have been more polish. Then you look at the fact that Island Paradise includes a world, a beautiful world. It's beautifully made. The big issue being that you can't use the dive spots, really. I mean, there are ways to get around that, and you can put dive spots in other worlds, but it's iffy. And it can really sort of glitch your game out. But yeah, you put these, you have the dive spots, the houseboats. Basically, the newest elements of Island Paradise can only be used in that world. And it's another issue where I feel like if they had more time, they could have worked it out that you could put down a houseboat in like Monte Vista or something. And I know you can technically, but it's iffy. Again, there are mods and ways to get around it, but it's iffy. And if you're not comfortable with that, or you just don't want to, it basically comes down to the fact that these things just aren't available in other worlds. So, with that alone, the expansion is actually, in my opinion, light on content. Then you got a lot of clothes, you got a bunch of items, but the items are heavily themed. You got the resort system, which is neat. I enjoy it, actually. It's a decent way for your Sims to make money, although like the startup cost is expensive, but it's business. I like that you had the open for business element. I wish that it would expand to more. And of course, the bistro set that was just released on the store, which was $19, included a premium content item and elements of the resort system, but you had to pay $19 for it. So as glad as I am to have it, again, it's like a cost issue. So then, yes, the next thing was the holding hostage thing. This has often been an issue with the store sets, but the other sets recently that I've done, I am, again, more forgiving of, because they followed their own theme. While the bistro incorporated elements of Island Paradise, it was beautifully made, and it gives those elements to people who don't have Island Paradise, and it's just genuinely useful. It's a good way to bring in capital. Then you have the Hipster Set, which is completely along a new theme. You have these are themes that are not in the game. You have like other sets before Supernatural came out. You had the Lady Raven something. You had like the Magic Book and the Voodoo Doll. Those are fun. You have the Goth set. You have the multi-tab, most useful item on the store. Flat out. If you don't have the multi-tab and you've got like $6 to spend and you can like get points on the Sims 3 store, I wholly recommend it. The only item I would say is a must-have, the multi-tab 6000. Keep that in mind. But yeah, I mean, you have these things. The Indian set, from India, beautiful items, completely different theme, just opens up a whole new world of gameplay. That's good, but this follows a theme that we already have, that we just got. We were just given the whole island thing. And here we are being given something which would fit with it perfectly, but you have to pay separately. And this is it almost feels like something that may have been included in Island Paradise if it had been up to the designers or developers. If they'd been given more time, maybe it took longer to develop these things, and maybe it's something that they wanted to include. And ultimately, the way I feel is that it all comes down to massive corporate interference. I actually do feel like the sim gurus and the designers and the producers would actually probably prefer to give us more content. I really do, because the older Sims games included a lot more content, but the way that business is done now is entirely different. We are in the information age. We have the internet much more readily available to most people, so now it's easy to microcharge, and it's just becoming more and more accepted. And yeah. So the next thing that I wrote down I personally prefer store sets which emulate a different theme that isn't already in the game. So that's what we just talked about, but I'm expanding on that. I like sets not to include stuff that's already in the game because I've got that. And while this one expands on the set initially, we're back to the issue where it could have been included already, and why are we paying for it? The next thing is consumers should not have to purchase exorbitant store content in order to fill out an expansion which is already lacking. This is the reverse of what you have before, which is where, like with the tutor set, you needed to use other store content to fill out the theme, but in general it ran along its own theme and it was highly specific. So it was kind of, like I said, it's kind of the reverse of that. Then, like I said, it kind of smacks of corporate interference. And, again, the last thing I want to say is just that I acknowledge that programming is complex and I could not do it. And I know it's hard. And I know that there are, corporate bigwigs coming in and saying, no, you have to do it this way. So, I can't, you know what I mean. It's kind of a practice, but I can't guarantee it. Maybe, I don't know. But I do feel like the sim gurus are, gregarious and generous in most instances. And they're, they come across as a group of really nice people. And, I can't say for sure, but this feels more like EA really cracking down on what's being given out. And, yeah, so I've been going on about this for a while, and I'm sorry. And I know in my previous reviews I've said, well, I can't really judge whether or not pricing is fair. I think the reason I'm definitely harder on this is because it's so blatant what they're doing. In the other sets, it was always a little bit, obfuscated. It was covert, and it was there, but it wasn't as offensive as I find it in this set. And the hardest thing for me is that I like this set, but I can't tell you to go spend $12 on it, and most definitely can't tell you to spend $14 on it. So that is entirely up to you. So once again, I can say that I like the set. It's up to you if you want to spend the money. But in this instance, I would say that, I'm just genuinely offended by how much disregard there is. There's no effort to hide what's going on. This is stuff that should have been included in the Island Paradise Pack. It just should have been. So, and again, I'm not perfect. I might be wrong in your opinion, and I totally respect if you don't feel the same way. I know this has been kind of a cranky review, but I will leave you with, once again, I'll say there are a number of things I like about this set. And I embrace the fact that the sim gurus really work hard on this stuff. And I respect that. So, with that being said, I'm going to put an end to this review and my sort of crank attitude, and I'm saying this with a smile. I love you all. I hope this has helped, and if you stuck through my rant, then I'm gonna give you all a long distance hug and a high five and a cookie, because wow, I'm such a crank. So, okay, I will see you in my next video, hopefully, and you're all great, so thank you. Bye.